Welcome back, everybody. DJ Numismatics, and I scored another box of circulated nickels. It does have the holes on the other side, and I didn't see anything that screams silver or buffalo. And not seeing anything on this side, other than maybe that one, but I don't know. That might be silver. I was hoping to get 2 boxes, so if this one doesn't pan out with enough finds, I'll wait until I get a second box, and we'll do 2 boxes at a time. Hopefully we can fill some album, or the 6 slots in the album, or do some upgrades, find a buffalo here or there, maybe even a V-nickel, you never know. That being said, let's go ahead and break open this first roll, and I'll bring you in on all my finds. We're on roll 3, and I didn't see it until I got a few coins in here. We've got a buffalo. I'm not seeing a mint mark on it. Definitely no mint mark, and it is a type 2, and it's not looking like we're gonna get a date on there. I still haven't ordered any Nicodate yet, so let me get out the microscope and see if I can get a date off that. Well, as I suspected, I did not come up with a date, so this will be going into my 2 Nicodate pile. I'm seeing the 3rd feather too, so it's definitely not a 2 feathers, so I will put this aside and eventually order some Nicodate and do a video on all the dateless buffaloes that I've found. Alright, let me get back to this roll. We're on roll number 5, and we're going to have our first Jefferson find. That's in 57 from Denver. We're on roll number 8, and we're going to have our first 40s Jefferson in the box. And that is a 1940 from Philly. We're on roll 11, and we're going to have our first 4 in the box, and that's a 1986 Canadian. And I just noticed right behind that Canadian, we've got a 1955. Let's flip it and see if we got a mint mark. We do. It's a Denver. I will check that off screen or off camera for the D over S. If I got it, I'll bring you back in. If not, we'll move on to the next find. We're on roll 14, and we're going to have the oldest Jefferson in the box so far. That's in 1939. Let's flip it and see if it's one that we need. It's not. It's a Philadelphia. I will check that for the double Monticello and 5 cents off camera. If I got it, I'll bring you in. If not, we'll move on. Roll 15, and we've got a 50s nickel, and that is a 1959 minted Endeavor. We're on roll 19, and we've got a 1949. Let's see where it's from. I do believe that is San Francisco. That would be a semi-key date. I'll check that. I think there's an RPM on those too. I'm not positive. If I got it, I'll bring you in though. Same roll. We've got a 1951. Let's flip and see where it's from. Philly. I think the 51S is also a semi-key date. Not positive, but I think it is. Well, almost done with this roll. We'll move on to the next. We're on roll 21, And we've got a 1958 from Denver. We're on roll 29, and we've got another 1940. This time from Philadelphia again. We're on roll 39, and we've got another 1955. Let's see if we do a mint mark. It's a Denver. I will check that for the D over S, and if I got it, I'll bring it back in. If not, we'll move on to the next roll. We're on roll number 40, and we're going to have another 1940. This time out of Philly again. Same roll, and we're going to have a 1948 out of Philly as well. We're on roll number 43, and we got it 42. It doesn't look silver, so I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a nickel clad. And it is. Philadelphia minted 1942 transitional. With what looks to be, I was going to say a lamination peel, but I don't think it is. On roll 48, and we've got a 1953 from San Francisco. Same roll, and we're going to have a 1959 from Denver. Roll 49 is going to produce a 1957 from Denver, and right behind that we got a 1941 from Philly. We're on the last roll, and it's going to have at least one more find. That's a 1957 from Denver. Same roll, and it's going to have one more. That's a 1958 from Denver as well. Let's just check these real quick. Nothing interesting. So, as you can see, I've got a pretty short stack. I did find the Indian, or Buffalo, the Canadian, a 39, a few 40s with the 149S semi-key, a stack of 50s, and just a small stack of upgrades. So I think I'm going to go ahead and hold off on editing this one until I can get another box. I'll put these in a tube and we'll save them until the next hunt. See you guys in. Well, we are back with another box to finish off this 2-box nickel hunt. I was lucky enough to pick one up before the end of the week, so I'm super excited to see if we can't find something to fill up a slot in that album. That being said, I don't see anything silver or buffalo-y, other than maybe a newer buffalo. So let's go ahead and get started. Crack open roll number 1. We're on roll number 2, and we're going to have our first find, and that is a 1956 from Denver. We're on roll number 3, and we've got a 1954 in really rough shape from Denver. Roll number 7, and we've got another, let's see here, 1956 out of Denver again. A few coins later, and we got a 1959 from Denver. Same roll, and we're going to have our first 40s nickel. That's a 1940 from Philly. Roll number 8, and we're going to have our next 1940s nickel. And that's another 1940, this time from Denver. We're on roll 13, and we've got a 1958 from Denver. We're on roll 14, and we've got another 1958 from Denver. A couple coins later, we got a 59 from Denver as well. I think from this roll on out, I'm only going to bring you in on the 50s if we got a variety or key date or something for the album. Otherwise, we're just going to go through the 40s, any Buffaloes, possibly even a V-nickel if we find one, just to save some time since I did this as a two box hunt. So from here on out, 40s, varieties, and key dates. We're on roll 22, and I had an ender and didn't realize it. And that's going to be a 1946, minted in Denver. Same roll, we got another 40s nickel, and it's another 1940 from Philly. Roll 25, and we've got a 1947 from Philly. We're on roll 27, and we've got another 1940. A little crusty. This time from San Francisco. I will put that under the scope and see if we got the RPM. If we got it, and I got to stack a few other things here that I'll put under the scope too. If I got anything on any of them, I'll bring in. One of my 58s, I just checked it, and it is an RPM. I do believe this is RPM 001. It's not an FS. There is an FS designation on these, and it's a D over inverted D, which this one is not. I'll throw it under. I'll show you under the scope and show you what kind of RPM it is. If you look right there to the bottom, let me see if I can zoom this thing in a little better. There we go. If you look to the bottom, you can see the remnants, and to the back of the D, I'm pretty sure if I put a little cleaner, you'd be able to see the D on the inside of the D, but this is RPM 001. Kind of a cool find. We're on roll 38, and I just cracked open this roll. Let me set up the tripod. It'll make it a little easier. And if you look here, there's a couple that look silver. Let's start with this one. Or no, sorry, that was this one. And we got silver in the roll. The other one is right back here. I think it just might be a crusty one. And yeah, it's just a crusty one. But we've got a mint mark above the dome. We got an S on it. So let's flip it and see if it's one we need. That looks to be a 19. It is 44. And if I remember correctly, we need a 44D and S silver for the album. So we're definitely going to get at least one fill in this box. So let me straighten up this roll, finish it up. If I find any 40s, I'll bring you back in. We finally got an album filler. We're on roll number 30, and we're going to have our oldest Jefferson in the box. That is a 19 38 First Year Jefferson. If I remember right, I have the P and the D. I just need the S. So let's flip it over and see what we get. Another Philly. I will check this under the scope because I know there is a couple double dies for them. They're fairly, I think 2 of them are FS. So if I got them, I'll bring you in. If not, we'll finish up this roll and move on to the next. We're on roll 36 and we got a 1941 minted in San Francisco. Same roll, and we've got another 1948 from Philly. And why not? From the same roll, we've got a 1947. That's in pretty good shape, it looks like, from the front anyways. From Philly as well. That might be an upgrader. Same roll, and this roll is just a drowning in 40s. We got another 1940. From, I'm pretty sure that's a Philly. We're on roll 39, and we got another 40s. And that's a 1941 out of Philly. Roll 41, and we're gonna have another 1946, this time from Philly. Well, that box is officially hunted, and from that box we got a 1938, 13 from the 40s, including that 44S that'll fill a slot. We only got 11 from the 50s, including that 58 D over D, and then a handful of upgraders. And then, if you remember correctly, from the first box, we got that Buffalo nickel, which I can almost make out the date from here. Boy, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get some Nicodated, I do believe. We got 1 Canadian, the 39, 7 from the 40s, including the 49S semi-key date, 11 from the 50s, and then another little stack to check out the album for upgrades. So, speaking of albums, let me pull them out and see if we get any upgrades and fill one slot. Well, in this first album, we're gonna upgrade the 79D. The one that isn't in the album has a slightly better ear detail and better back field, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one in there. We're also going to upgrade the 1980D. Same thing, the fields and the striker just quite a bit better. And then we're going to come over here, and that 71 has got a nicer strike and a little less chatter on it, so we're going to upgrade that. And then the 69S is most definitely an upgrade, as you can tell. It does have a little gunk on there, but I think I can clean that off with some stuff. So let me pop these in these in this album, and we'll move on to the next. Well, in this album, we're going to upgrade this 51P. It's got quite a bit better strike to it, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it in there for sure. And then that 47 is definitely better by far, and we are going to add a 44S silver war nickel. So all in all, not a bad hunt. Got a silver out of one box and a buffalo out of the other. Can't wait to get some Nicodate so I can figure out what the dates are. Oh, and not to mention we got that 58 D over D RPM 001. So we're down to 5 slots left. They might take a while, but hopefully we'll find some more in our next boxes. I'll put these last two in here, and before I close out, I'll let you guys all know that I am going to post a link up here to my eBay page. I put a lot of my finds on there. Hopefully you'll check it out. Most of my prices I start pretty reasonably, so. And then I'll also post a link down below for some of the sites I search for varieties. So if hopefully you're not dealing with the wind like we have up here. It went from negative 20 degrees out to 20 mile per hour wind, so it's like you can't win for lose. So hopefully you're all having a nice spring, and until next time, everybody, thanks for joining me, and happy hunting.
Here we go.